Good evening and welcome back to 31 Horror Nights. It's October 10th and tonight's movie is Saint Maud. This is a 2019 psychological horror movie directed by Rose Glass and is also the only movie I'm watching this month that was directed by a woman. Well, at least on her own. The trailer was pretty vague, but from what I can tell, Maud is a born-again Christian who's like a nurse, and she becomes fixated on saving the soul of one of her patients. I wasn't really able to put together what specific struggles she's facing in regards to that, or the obstacles that get in her way. It shows her doing a lot of kooky things, and I don't really know what path takes you from wanting to save someone else's soul to stepping into shoes that are lined with thumbtacks. That seems like quite a leap, but maybe things will become clearer when I watch the movie. I'm gonna go do that. Things, in fact, did not become clearer after watching the movie. I still can't quite tell you what I watched. One thing that I guess was kind of a relief is that this movie was not fully just anti-Christian, anti-Catholic like I was scared it might be. Obviously, religion plays a big part, and clearly the main character in this movie, Maud, or I guess her name used to be Katie and she changed her name to Maud, has a very unhealthy relationship with her own spirituality. But I think that's more of a backdrop because at its core, Saint Maud is just watching a woman go insane. Mostly I'm just happy that the main character wasn't basically that crazy lady from The Mist or any of the other horrible caricatures Stephen King has written over the years that I have no patience for. Why do you think I've never reviewed Carrie? So I dodged that bullet, but I still didn't really care for this movie. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Like, I can see what it was going for at points, and at other points I very much can't see what it was going for. I don't think I'm going to need to split up this into two sections because there isn't that much to spoil in this movie. It's relatively short and I basically gave you the whole thing. It's this woman going insane. The main character in this movie, Katie, is going through a mental and spiritual crisis after a patient died in front of her, and you definitely get the impression that she is feeling really lost in her life and doesn't see the meaning anymore. So she devotes herself entirely to being Catholic, but you can tell that it's not healthy the way that she's doing it. She's still going through mental illness, and she's not doing anything to try to fix that. And all this comes to a head when she gets fired from her nursing job, or at least fired from this nursing job, after she gets in an argument with the woman she's taking care of, Amanda. Amanda is that type of hedonistic, nothing matters, chain smoker, drinker, older woman character. She's also apparently an atheist, and that causes the two of them to clash. Again, without getting too specific, they get into an argument, both of them cross lines, and it ends with Maud slapping Amanda, and then she gets fired. So now you just have a person at the very end of their rope, and the last thing they'd been clinging on so tightly to give their life meaning has failed them. I'd say that one criticism I have for Saint Maud is that it wasn't scary, it was just kind of gross. Maud uses self-harm as like a coping mechanism, or maybe she in her mind sees this as penance, but it's very explicit. I don't want to see an extended scene of her picking off a giant scab from her hand. I don't want her to put the thumbtacks in the shoes I already talked about on her feet and walk around from it and hear the gross sound every step makes. That's not scary, that's just gross. One part that I did find scary was Maud's final confrontation with Amanda. She, tries to make her own holy water, and she, puts a bed sheet around her body. Actually, now that I'm describing this, it sounds really silly. She, tries to bless Amanda, and then, I'm pretty sure just in Maud's mind, Amanda turns into the demon, and she kills her by stabbing her with scissors. That was the first actually scary scene in the movie, but that was also one of the last scenes. The last scene is her going to a beach, dousing herself with acetone, and lighting herself on fire. And in her mind, she imagines herself being engulfed in holy flames and ascending to the heavens on bright wings of light. But for, just a fraction of a second at the very end, the last shot of the movie is you seeing the reality of her horrifically burning to death and screaming in agony. Often horror movies criticize religion by calling it an excuse people have in order to hurt other people. But this one kind of presents the argument that people can use it to avoid not getting themselves the help that they truly need. I guess that's an interesting enough concept, and there could be an interesting movie based around that. But that's very much the subtext, and the like actual text is a lot of shock horror and gross outs at a few points. I still don't really feel strongly one way or the other about Saint Maud. There's some parts of it that worked, some parts of it that didn't work, and overall, I kind of just found it to be middle of the road. And that's really all I have to say about it. I'll see you tomorrow.